Hello and welcome to Jarviskjir Everhold. I'm mixing things up. I'm starting weird today. So
Starting on a battle map.
we're starting on a battle
that's
map.
terrifying.
That's right.
Save us.
Hello.
Got the Patreon to save us.
Yeah.
Donated up while he doesn't kill us.
I would never be a corporate shill to save my friends.
I remember when if you don't what was it actually a Patreon tier or was it like donations?
It was a
NPCs
Patreon
for-
tier.
yeah.
There are other YouTube channels that did donations. I always thought that was hot garbage. But I've tried for a bit. It was like, oh, you can like do like give gifts on Patreon, and that less hot garbage, less hot, but still garbage.
Yeah.
Like me.
I just remember like one NPC got designed and we got maybe 1 or 2 gifts, maybe. I think.
Yeah, Gilwyn's amulet.
Yeah.
Made.
And there was I think it was a gold dragonborn or a dragonborn in Lichvale somewhere. That...
There were actually more NPCs than you may have noticed because they blended in. Which is
that was one you pointed out,
deliberateness.
I think.
Yes.
The Comet Blade was
I don't think so. Maybe.
No.
I think the Comet Blade was just a thing. Because he found it in a shop as well, like.
Yeah.
Had to buy it with his own dang money.
Yeah, he did.
No handouts! I'm just becoming like a greedy D&D capitalist. Is the crux, apparently.
Those things go hand in hand.
Well-
Capitalist. I think one of those is different from the others.
These things is not like the other.
Exactly.
Let's play some D&D, shall we?
Let us.
To recap! Last time, you are a bunch of guests and valued dignitaries at the Everhold meet, celebrating 200 years of peace between dwarves and elves on the surface of Jarviskjir. I say the surface because in the middle of this grand little meeting, it was attacked by forces of the deep. Like it's like a 60s pulp novel. They came from the deep. After fighting away some usurper elf attackers, and actually fighting and defeating a Dryder, an ascended priestess taking the form of their goddess, you are on the challenge to save the life of Lord Copperbeard. Not the lord of this place, but his dad, who was poisoned by a dark elf blade. And that's pretty much where we left off. You just fought a bunch of dudes for like 3 hours. And where we actually... No, that's not true. We left off with you at the mouth of a group of blood priestesses. Priestesses to Marina Mabal, which, as we discussed last time, is basically a dwarven goddess of, like, war medics. Like, a little more bloody than, like, your typical... holy magic healer. The kind of people that would chop your leg off on the battlefield, patch up, and then give you a crutch and go, there's the enemy. On your way there, because it's the only place that can definitely cure the poison coursing through Lord Copperbeard's bloodstream, you very usefully managed to get some mook NPCs to carry the Lord for you, so you don't have to do it, and have encountered some resistance on the way. And that is why we're starting on a battle map screen, because we're starting with a battle.
Funny that.
Instantly. Coming around the corner, there is a number of usurper elf scouts, and which is not a surprise, who are currently They're kind of, you know, almost breach and clear, sorting out how they're going to deal with trying to get into the Temple of Marina Rabal here, which you're underground in a dwarven city. It is just another tunnel. There's a statue, but, you know, if you weren't a dwarf, it might be hard to work your way around such a place. With them, different from last time, is actually, maybe to some of your surprise, depending on what you know, is a small little figure of 3 foot tall or so, a gnome, wearing a helmet and some armor and gloves and stuff, who is speaking in a very quick, chattering language, seeming to organize people. When they see you, they turn. The gnome's eyes act very similar to a cat's. You see them to you. And that's when you're going to roll me some initiatives.
Roll a 1. I die. Get out of the way, master's degree shit.
You don't need your degree, you need D&D. Oh, good. That is really good. The drow got the worst initiative in the world.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they got a 4.
Oh, that's barely worse than mine.
Barely worse than yours, but still worse.
But I mean, I'm also made of rocks, so whatever.
You're
They have no
dense.
excuse.
You're heavy.
I'm a thick lad.
Okay, so it's actually something I forgot to describe, and I said, oh, I will remember to describe this at the start of the stream. You fought, like, Donoruvian and Dernikin, old comrades from back in the day, actually rivals, pretty much single-handedly, with a little bit of assistance from spells and things, took on the Dryder Priestess. And from that, Dernikin still jogging along, you know, scrapes and cuts and things, but, you know, doesn't show it. Donoruvian most likely has, you know, the wound on the side. Yeah, in very, like, elven way, probably not showing the pain, but lots of blood, you know. To anyone, it's clear that Donoruvian is quite injured. Dernikin, less so. He's a tough dwarfen barbarian. Like, he's probably got more fight in him. But just a thing of note. It's actually your turn at the start, Donoruvian, which I think it was last time as well. So you're starting a good trend of, Zoe, you have to start the combat.
My immediate thought is to take a defensive, to take a dodge action.
Yeah, pretty sensible. Like, hold back here in the corner.
Yeah.
I would not complain if that was to be your course of action.
That sounds like it will be my course of action. Super exciting. Action. Go.
It's not. It's exciting. You know, you're role playing. You're injured, blood pulsing, feeling the heartbeat through the wound on your side. Donoruvian presses her back against the burnished dwarven walls, as hoping that her new comrades in arms can buy her a moment to breathe. You can make it exciting. You can make anything exciting if you describe it like a
Porno. What?
well, if you're watching a porno where there's that much blood gushing, you're on a list.
You hear the sound of slap bass echoing through the dwarven halls.
This is just the Manhunt game. all the pretense washed away. This is just like Manhunt 3. From the mouth here of the temple, like I described, that there's actually a statue to Marina Rabal here. Very harsh-looking dwarven woman. One of their priestesses is in this doorway. There's actually more of them. I'm really using just one token to represent, you know, 2 or 3 of them standing in the doorway. Chain armor, any metal plates and things that they're painted like red with artistry to them. They're manifesting magic. They are essentially throwing out these blasts of these kind of embers of fire, these pyroclasts that bounce and move and kind of dance towards the enemy, not in a completely straight line. But so far, the Usurper Elves are doing a pretty good job of avoiding them because their focus is on it. So this is like a cowboy shootout, but the gangsters are dodging and rolling every bullet like they're in the Matrix right now. But of course, you have the flank.
One last thing as my character.
Oh, please do.
I think like Donna Rubian would move back and just go, catch that one.
To the gnome.
Yeah, it's unusual, and I think there needs to be some splaining.
Needs to be some splaining.
You got some splaining to do.
Tourniquet. Your
Dernikin
turn.
rolls his shoulders,
Fetch!
hefts for more, lumbers into battle. Am I okay to stand on this lantern sconce between the...
Oh, yeah! I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
That is probably not meant to be in the middle of the room like that. That is probably meant to be somewhere else. That is probably meant to be there. I probably just moved it by accident.
Now the question is, do I rage and use my last rage against what might not be a very big fight? But if I don't rage and then I get
just to, you've already fought these front foot soldiers of the Usurper Elves, and they go down pretty easy. They're not wearing armor. Their advantage is their speed and stealth. But they've thrown stealth out the window because that only works once in the tunnels like this, at least.
What's the deal with this gnome?
What's the deal with gnomish food?
And the other problem is that if I take damage here, then even if I have my rage left, it's going to be useless. I'm not going to rage. I'm going to try to be tactical about it, and I'm going to try and hit the gnome with a more attack.
Please do. That is actually, to your surprise, a miss. I don't know if you've had any dealings with gnomes, Dernikin, but being shorter than a dwarf, you probably think that you can get a good hit on this dude. But they bring an arm up, and from the arm, a little shield kind of, and with the shield, the chain as well of their armor. They actually manage to just straight up take a hit. They like roll with it and move. They're not like Iron Man standing completely still while being shot by a tank, but they take the hit with the maul without injury.
Okay. Because I'm not raging back. It's my turn basically.
Vilnora.
All right. So is this the only battle? Do we hear anything else? Like in the beyond?
That is a very good question/point. While you spent quite a bit of time running through the tunnels deliberately to this temple. It seems in the underground of Crimson Mountain, you can just about hear other battles, but only small skirmishes like this. But yes, you definitely can. But none from either direction. They would be from behind you that you can hear that.
Okay.
So any direction you go from this map, you're safer.
Yeah, okay.
Aside from the bad guys, obviously.
So Venora will step forward. Ooh. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Taking a big step.
Big step. And I think she'll do a character sheet.
You've used it.
I've used everything.
Yes, you had a big fight last time, so you're a little running on empty.
Of everything I have.
I think
I have
I'll
not
do
yet taken your life.
a chill touch.
On whomst?
Oh, sorry. I will do one. I will do one on the gnome.
Okay, that is a hit.
Apologize. But then I would also like to twin my spell. And do it again at the first. Oh well, at the
one in front. Yeah.
This.
Oh,
this guy.
one in back.
I'll do that
okay.
one. I'll do that guy.
Okay. Roll for that.
So I will roll again. I apologize, Finicky.
It's okay. You're a spellcaster, and Roll20 is slow on Fridays, and it's been a week. You are acceptably rusty. Both a hit, so feel free to roll both damages there.
Fantastic.
Not great damage, but you know, spread damage. I always tell you, you know, don't pick off one enemy at a time. Spread your damage out on the whole group.
So that
And
way
they
it has
won't be
more
able
things
to
use us with.
heal this turn either if they were thinking about it. Just making sure. Now, after casting some shadowy hands at people as the chill touch grabs at them, she's going to step back.
Totally fair.
And-
Totally fair.
Stay there.
That's wise.
I was gonna say, can you do some meta magic stuff? But you play like almost exclusively sorcerers, right? I'm sure if you could, you would have.
Twin spell was a meta magic thing, and now I have
Yeah,
sorcery points.
Yeah, there's like a way you can turn them into spells and that kind of thing.
Oh yes. I don't have any sorcery points, and if I did, I only have one spell slot left, so it's
I was just wondering.
Thank you.
It's gnome time. The gnome brings a kind of well-made weapon that's basically a pickaxe, and goes quite literally for your knees, Dernikin. But you are quite easily able to bring them all in the way of the weapon and shove them aside, putting you at a standstill right now. Look, this gnome is not above fighting dirty. Sidian.
Almost say that they fight below the belt.
Well, they have to fight below the belt. It's not really their choice.
That was the joke.
I'm gonna go here and attack the guy between myself and Dernican. I was like, give me a second, it'll come to me. Okay,
It's just a guy you've met at dinner for the first time today. It's
right.
That is a miss.
Cool. That's my turn.
You should have done your other plan. I saw you scheming.
Yeah, I was scheming. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
That, so far it's a bit of a stalemate. You know, you got them by some surprise. Not all the way enough to be a surprise round, and I think you were running down a tunnel. But I was gonna say no bloodshed. Little bloodshed. But pretty even. So the Usurper Elves in their counterattack actually have a real good chance to do some damage. This one's going to weave around and attack at Sidian. What's your... Oh, well, you know what? They get a crit. So I'm just going to tell you what your armor class is.
Great.
It ain't jack. Don't matter.
It is 17 right now for the record.
Well, you know what? The record... can we actually strike that from the record?
No.
It is still part of the record.
Judge, jury, and executioner on... For the first time in my life, I don't have enough D6s.
More
Who
like
knows where they are?
Judge Judy and executioner.
I wish. She's rich as shit.
Right?
Almost to your surprise, Sidian, because you actually haven't really fought many, like, you fought, like, the way out of the hall, but mostly you were bodyguarding. So, actually, like, in one-on-one combat against this person, when you thought you had the strategic advantage, they do a frickin', like, spin kick turn into a stab just through the breaks in your armor, like an extra in a Daredevil fight scene. They're gonna deal 8 slashing damage with the strike. And immediately another is going to, as you stumble, another one is going to go back right behind you and...
Kneel down.
So you fall over. They're just pulling pranks. The one behind you kind of tries to like kick you in the back to get you into another strike, but because they kick you in the back, it gives you enough preparation to like bring the flail back and defend your rear. This one comes around running.
No.
Donna!
Can I huck knives?
Yeah,
How
always.
might one huck?
You said you picked up all the silverware you basically could, so don't worry about it.
Don't worry about ammunition, but you can only... Well, you could bonus action huck a second one, so you've got 2.
You can huck with your offhand. I'm
I'm
known
just
for it.
That's a hit.
Yes, a 20
Your
is a
armor
hit,
class has struck off a record here, Ollie.
Exactly. How dare you? How dare you try to use the law against me? So this is actually excellent. As this elf weaves around the corner, a blade towards the young sorceress beside you, there is a and just stumble down.
Just sounds like
Denora's just like, oh no, not again. and then just like waits for an impact, and when nothing happens, it's just like
Just a sleepy man on the floor.
if I like move just 1 or 2 forward so I can see everyone, is that taking my bonus action?
You don't move as a bonus action. You can move with your like you have 6 movement every turn, so you can always move and then move back.
Okie dokie, that sounds good. That sounds good. I'm going to throw another at the first, the one between Dernican and
The thing betwixt.
the other one.
Yes.
All you dwarves look the same.
Donoruvian only has eyes for Dern.
Hate-filled,
Way!
confused eyes. No! I look at Dernican.
Can't resist just stabbing him one more time. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Perfectly balanced, as all
Maybe
things
I
should
do
be.
just feel like
Instinctively.
into the kidney.
just muscle memory at this point.
You see a dwarf, you stab him. Regardless, that is not a hit. I want that to be on record. You're playing defensive. There's honor to it, you know.
Scuttling out of the crevice, just killing them.
Yeah. Because you also gotta, like, these are dwarven walls. They have, like, recesses and, like, little areas you can, like, get up in and kind of dodge from. Because you know these guys throw things. Priestess! Aha. This usurper elf, because they are tied in mortal combat between the two of you, cannot dodge the oncoming fire blast and takes it to the side. Dernican.
Gonna swing them all at one between me and Sidian. Because that way, maybe I have a small chance of hitting.
I
him
like
when
to
they-
imagine you're like facing the gnome, fighting the gnome, and then just with like using the maul to pivot. Like, yeah. That's a hit.
Yes. I finally hit. Yeah, okay.
Stunned from taking a blast of fire from the side, they are crunched beneath the unbreakable power of a dwarf with a maul.
Fair.
I was trying to be something poetic in there, but there's nothing.
You could just say crunched like standing on a Coke can.
I've done too many irreverent references to murdering people today, and we're only 30 minutes in.
Yeah, that ends my turn.
Vilnora.
Right, so Vilnora like steps over the body just to have a look and go out again. Everything seems a bit better. And then she points at the gnome and does a frostbite.
That's right. Constitution save on a gnome.
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 Oh, they're gonna fail.
Oh, hells yes. So, dark ice starts to crack around them and
Dark ice.
and like just make it very chilly and hard to move.
I didn't know how much I wanted dark ice to be canon,
Dark ice.
but it is.
It's
That's
like
cool as
darkness
hell.
trapped in cold.
Yeah, I can totally see it.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And the gnome slows down in their attacks. They're trying to chip it off from their armor, kind of almost fusing shut around them. They're having some serious trouble. So much so that they're actually going to kind of look around Anakin while he's distracted, and it is going to take what kind of looks like a blow dart kind of thing. They don't ever bring it to their mouth. They kind of just like aim it at you and press a button and little gizmo mechanics. She's going to shoot the dart at you. I fudged that one. Okay.
Stepped back.
Luckily, you do step back just enough, just in time, feeling the dart skim by you. Plunges into a dwarven statuette upon the wall. Instead of
I'd like to think she was trying to step back, but almost like trips over like the body of the one that was killed. Just
the
behind her.
leg, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Clean up after this is going to be a mess. Anyway, staying in.
I'm gonna attack the guy directly underneath me.
That is a hit.
Excellent. So he's gonna take that
Yeah, he is instantly...
plus that.
Instantly crunched.
When you say directly beneath you, I just feel like, what, you're mounting him now?
I mean, the flail in a way is mounting him. Cool. And then I'm gonna move. Here. Call that a turn.
I would say it's Usurper Elf turn, but they're all dead.
Yay.
Donna. The rest of the party is surrounding this mysterious gnomish figure who is very much injured and is starting to kind of shrink inwards and try and almost looks like it's planning as maybe an escape route while it's surrounded.
How do I roll catch the gnome?
Well, that would be a grapple check, actually. You'd have to get within range, which you might actually be able to do. It is so a grapple is you've never played a character that grapples. Well, kind of, but they essentially count as an attack. So you would need to move and then use your attack to grapple, just like how you can use your attack to shove or to knock someone prone. It's the same logic. I don't actually know if you can get in range and then use an action.
She's got movement enough to do it because Woodhouse have 35, so...
It is exactly 35. It looked like a little bit longer. Yeah, so you can do that. It would be an athletics check versus either their athletics or acrobatics.
Alright.
So if you want to make an athletics check.
If only it were acrobatic.
Yeah, it's quite hard to acrobatically grapple someone, though. Luckily, you can whisk around the corner and grapple this guy, keep him secure. Yeah. With him secure, what's your plan? You know, is there going to be an interrogation?
We have time for that? The other people are getting Copperbeard forward, right?
Yeah, I mean, considering like we don't really need to worry about the combat now unless you want to let him go and have an honorable battle, because you've got the area secure enough that the other NPCs who aren't on the map can just be like get past and get into the temple.
I think Donoruvian would glance around and then just say like things like, "What were you talking about?"
You say this to the gnome?
The gnome was. It seemed like the gnome was instructing them, right?
Yeah. The gnome. So now you got the gnome up close and personal. You can see into its mysterious, kind of purple eyes, actually, and its bluish, stony skin, and it stares at you. Kind of, it actually hasn't really encountered you, looking at your weapons and armors and things like that, but doesn't offer much. It doesn't say anything at all.
I do not have other languages except Elven and Common.
Got the language of violence.
And of love.
I don't know Gnomish. I know Primordial. It's probably not going to be useful.
Vilnora comes in and starts talking says like, "Are we going to talk to him, or what are we doing? Do you have a question? What do we want to ask?"
I think Donoruvian's gonna try and cover that they didn't know what they were gonna do once they got the
Typical D&D.
Just something like,
"What were you doing?"
answers.
Sorry?
We need answers.
I turn to the gnome and speak in Undercommon and go like, "Can we have some answers, please?"
The gnome clearly reacts to this as she starts speaking a different language. And literally rolls its eyes. Like, what are you saying? What do you mean? Either imprison me, let me go, or end me. But I would prefer the first two options.
Okay. I turn to people and say, she would like to be imprisoned or die. I forgot what the first one was already. Do we have any questions?
Oh boy.
At this point, one of the priestesses will come up. A strong dwarven woman with dark hair and dark red lipstick that matches the armor. Will come up and be like, "Hi, what are you pussyfooting around for? End the thing and get in here. We need to talk about the Lord."
Perhaps I grabbed the wrong one.
You want me to finish him off, or are you going to?
If you're going to do that, I'm going to go away. I'm going to go that way.
There could be value in keeping him as a prisoner.
He's an affiliate.
You could speak to this one.
I mean, you might know something.
Well,
Probably
this seems like a problem for a slightly later time, and I will knock him unconscious and put him in a bag.
So you do that, and the blood priestess looks at you and is like, "What you have, Chain?"
Is good, and I just throw him over my shoulder.
It's not a D&D game if you don't have a gnome in a bag.
Just hope he doesn't wake up in the middle of the fight now, that one.
Oh, we should tie him up. That's a good point.
You in the back.
Look, I assume you know how to put a gnome in a bag, so...
Yeah,
you-
we've
you
all bagged
bind-
gnomes too before.
You bind the limbs and squeeze him in
Yes.
there.
I'll tie. I do have rope.
Yeah. Great.
In the bag. I'm gonna add them to my inventory.
No,
therein lies the problem.
Forget about him for a while. He'll be dead.
in the inventory.
I'll look at him like a couple of days later. Like gnome in bag? What?
You open the bag. Yeah. Oh.
I haven't checked that in a while.
Just leave it somewhere, like the fridge.
Ferment.
Oh my
Like
god.
someone with it.
The priestess, one of half a dozen or so, will guide you in, and once it's clear that there's no one else kind of running for aid, they will straight up close the doors, kind of like a portcullis. Like multiple levels of portcullis come down that essentially close everything, because all the different like lattices end up closing in a very particular way. And inside here is a temple, actually. If you've been in one dwarven temple, you've been in quite a lot of them, because they usually have a very standard pattern of, here is a big long room, and here like 2 long corridors off the side, and then the rest of the temple, if there is the rest of the temple. This big long room is basically, right now, is triage, right? There are guards they've already got to having, like I said, limbs amputated and cauterized with fire magic. They have brought Copperbeard over to a stone slab right by the entrance that's raised up enough for them to work on him, and 2 of the priestesses are looking over. At this point, Copperbeard he's been kind of deliriously mumbling for a bit. He's got a sweat on. While Sidian, you did purge some of the poison from him. No, you couldn't purge the damage. There's like, oh, attack, Gemtador, and he's mumbling, repeating that word, Gemtador. The priestess that kind of led you in looks to a lot of you with big strong hands on big strong hips and goes, "You care to explain what's going on?"
We'd love to know that too. We're in that big old hall where the celebration was being held. Lord Copperbeard was up on the stage giving actually, I think it was his kid talking at the time, and suddenly one of those.
It was Lord Copperbeard. How we know?
True.
An ambush.
It's kind of both.
Yeah, suddenly those those evil whatever they are, from that you saw outside, a bunch of them appeared, and one of them stabbed him in the back.
Please tend to your not leader, your elite. What would you call a higher dwarf? A dwarven lord?
Lord. Yeah. And they are. You know, the other 2 priestesses are like checking things, and they seem to be working together on a spell that is bringing up this crimson energy up in the air that could be easily mistaken for blood. Maybe it even is, the way it kind of moves like water in, or a liquid in 0 gravity in a kind of bubble above him, and like there's energy kind of siphoning down and siphoning up over him. Aye. He'll need time, but you stabilized him. Never seen an attack like this inside the city. Aye, it's craziness.
We have a prisoner.
Aye. If you wish to talk with them, we have cells.
Oh Lord, please don't make us talk to the creature again.
Don't care what you do, but if you want to kill him, you know, we'll also use the cells. Easier cleaning.
Only connection we have to anything like information. I'm very hurt and old. Please tend to me.
You can see, like, there's twofold. One, maybe this woman just realized she's talking to an elf. And then you have a very emotional outburst, very elvenly to them, and just like the face is just, and kind of just
Anyway.
Anakin definitely laughs a bit about that.
They motion to someone else.
I imagine.
This hall is safe. Our priestesses are defending it. Tend, rest. It'll take a long time to purge and cure this lord. See if we can catch some Sotai while this chaos subsides.
The gnome had a little dart blow thing, and I think the dart might have some poison in it. If that might help, seeing what the poison was, and maybe if it's similar to what Copperbeard had.
Think you can help with that, Missy?
Oh no, I don't have any healing, but I do have. It just seems like something that would happen. You make antidotes from like the things.
I understand the process. Need extra hands.
Yeah, I can
Come.
help. God.
Yeah, you are expected to follow.
Oh no.
And this is a twofold banger. First of all, give me an investigation check, and actually, if any of you want to help, give me an investigation check.
Investigation?
Yeah.
There you go.
Excellent. So you are basically told to look through the bodies. You are not a warrior. You have not probably dealt with a dead body before in your life. So it is a kind of disturbing process. These beings, these people that were alive a few moments ago, now getting cool to the touch as you look through their pockets and things. But you do find vials of poison. You find weapons that have a poisoned edge to them. You find the darts. You can actually straight up take one of those darts if they don't need to use for antidotes if you want. But you also find of interest on one of the usurper elves a small little package wrapped in paper with a little kind of sticking wax on it. When you open it up, it is filled with a
Anthrax.
glowing pink powder. It is filled with a glowing pink powder. One sort of package of it, quite small. So I imagine would either keep that or give that to someone else. Can you then please give me a medicine check to help them make antidote? I know you came up with the idea. You gotta help. Good rolls. Yeah. Especially considering you've got zeros on those. That is luck.
It's not.
Yeah, which is maybe a surprise to yourself, but it is kind of one of those things that this priestess also knows what she's doing. She literally just needs another set of hands, and you just need to follow the instructions. And it's terrifying, and she's yelling, but
she's actually just talking. She's just a dwarf, so it sounds like yelling.
No,
it sounds like
no.
She's yelling, and then I'm like, okay, please don't hurt me.
Just can't be bothered to speak in
Common. Yeah, it's dwarven half the time, and then has to remember to switch to common.
And then it's just speaking in dwarvish. Well done! I can tell you're trying, and you're.
Oh yeah, I did that joke in the Monday game. The dwarf who can't help but yell, but is actually very positive. If you remember from the other school.
Yes.
Are you all interested in taking a long rest? I'll get back to the medicine poison.
I'm definitely interested in taking a rest. It doesn't necessarily have to be long, but
I won't be long.
I mean, you get everything back on a short rest. You're okay, Mr. Fighter over here.
People are going to need a long time to heal. If you want to go for a short rest, you can go for a short rest and get hippity hop back to it. But also allow a long rest if you wish.
Vilnora, after she's helped, definitely needs a long rest. And she makes it known that if she doesn't, then she will not be helpful any longer.
I think it's one of those things where this is less a... Cause also, you're not like a party of people who know each other, right? It's just one of those things that, you know, once things are sorted, you get what little food is here, little dwarven cakes that are essentially like crumpets and things like that. You get whatever comfort you can in this hall, maybe even finding a quiet corner of it, and you mess. Well, maybe you do. Maybe that's involved doing a long rest. We just move the camera away from that. The second that someone goes around the corner and starts adjusting with their pantaloons, the camera currently turn away. But you see if you can get some shut-eye. This might not be a long rest of everyone sleeping together. But it is a long rest of you recuperate, you take this time in this safe place where you have the priestesses on your side.
Before I settle down to actually take a rest, I'll just blow my last 10 points of lay on hands to cure 2 people of poison. I'll just say, who are the 2 most important patients that you have?
People here.
Yeah. Like either the 2 most certainly dying or 2 most important to keep alive.
And that's appreciated. It's in a very...
2 people out of this room.
Yes. That is a bit of a trolley problem thing, isn't it? Almost.
Multi-track drifting! Sorry, it's the only valid answer.
There's not a lot of thank yous, because it's kind of like, this is the thing you're expected to do, but also at the same time, there's no questioning. You are a dwarf, a hecking tall dwarf, going around casting healing magic on the wounded. You are trusted. Maybe he is the sexy doctor right now. After that long rest, first of all, with your medicine success, you are actually going to be given 3 vials of antitoxin, which is straight up in the PHB. They give you poison advantage for an hour. Not so useful to a big boy dwarf, but useful for those who aren't. Comprised specifically for the poison that these guys are using. You discover, and maybe some of this goes out one ear out the other, but you probably would make an effort to try and remember as much as possible as this dwarfen woman is yelling at you. That, like, while there are different poisons being used, they all have a base. You of all people might understand this better, that wherever these enemies came from, the base components they use to build these poisons from would be very similar, so similar antidotes would be able to work. So basically you make an antidote specifically for this underrealm poisons. And that is one of the things that's kind of discussed during the long rest, is what was happening and what was going on. And it's something that is going to be discussed once your long rest is over and all your things are recovered and stuff. Lord Copperbeard is recovered enough to speak, and that priestess will come to you and say that he asks for your presence. And in the way she says it like she wouldn't usually say asks. You expect she to be like, oh, demands your presence, but is like almost making an effort to be polite, because that's probably what Copperbeard said to say, which you might find a bit foolish and frivolous. But we can actually worry about that after a break, because I have been drinking a huge cup of coffee, and well, maybe I need to take a long mess.
Okay. All right, everybody.
Doxy's not here. I need to, even out the usual poop energy she brings.